Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this Sunday afternoon about 7 p.m. I hope everyone is doing well and has had a fantastic weekend. I wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody over at Britannia Games. Today's video du jour, and just a quick review, is get it over on the right side, Chivalry and Sorcery's Land of the Rising Sun. This finally came out of Kickstarter and I got my copy last week. It is amazing. I'm going to start the review off by saying, if you're a fan of Nippon or Japanese culture and anything to do with role-playing, if you're a big fan of like Legends of the Five Rings or Sengoku or any of those games, this is a buy. If you're a fan of Chivalry and Sorcery, then this is most definitely a buy. Sorry, I got my microphone stand here. You'll see I've highlighted a couple of pages. We're going to go through those real quick. I got my little cheat card here. So this was kickstarted this year, earlier this year. Britannia Games is amazing on their Kickstarters. They know how to properly run, properly produce, and fulfill a Kickstarter. So if you were thinking about getting into the Chivalry and Sorcery game set, if you like your games with a little bit of crunch and an astronomical amount of historical detail, this is the game for you. Go back and check my Chivalry and Sorcery review. It's amazing. It's a cool game. I've heard a lot of complaints over the years, and I was one of those people that thought that Chivalry and Sorcery didn't do high fantasy or didn't do low fantasy, that it was a historical game, that, you know, only historical nerds that, you know, painted those little tiny, you know, World War I, World War II miniatures and bored out the barrels with insane detail and everything like that. Those are the only people that play Chivalry and Sorcery. Well, I was completely wrong. Stephen Turner ran a game for me and a couple of the other meanies. And I got to play Barnabas Magnus the Sorcerer, and it was a mage, and it was fantastic, and it was very much high fantasy, and it was a blast. So go back in the archives and watch that if you can. But today, 285 pages of full color. It's watercolor art. It's traditional, almost traditional Japanese art from, you know, the feudal Japan. And if you like that style of art, and I have a couple of pictures I'll show you, this is amazing. This was obviously produced and published by Britannia Games Design Limited, Stephen A. Turner. The layout was done by the awesome A.R. Crowley with his design studio. This game's going to cover the Soga era and the Fujiwara era. He did get some cultural experts, some Japanese cultural experts to help with this, because one thing you'll learn really quick about Chivalry and Sorcery's games is they are culturally accurate, and there is a hint of fantasy and the fantastical thrown in their games. These games have a lot of crunch, but if you're into that, if you're like a Pathfinder first edition, this might be a game you really dig. If you're into like Palladium Fantasy or Palladium Rifts, games that have typically a decent amount of crunch, this is the game you're going to get into. A percentage-based game. Once you get your character made, though, that crunch kind of goes away, and you're left with these statistical values that are percentages, and the game runs smooth. I don't know any other way to say it. I was really impressed with the mechanics of this game system. And then, of course, shortly thereafter, Stephen and I became friends, and I'm proud to say he's part of the Meanie Army, and he just had the UK Games Expo over the weekend where he won Game Design of the Year or something like that, a new game. I don't remember exactly what the award was he won. He won it for Land of the Rising Sun. So a big shout out to him. Congratulations to him for him and his crew's hard work. They totally deserve it. This book is absolutely beautiful. But what was nice is I was told by someone who was there that he gave the Meanie Army a shout out. So yay, Mr. Mean and the Meanie Army, you guys rock. We went in and we filled out the ballots and everything, and voted for his game because it's a super awesome game. And this supplement is amazing. So why would you want to play in this era, in a semi-realistic feudal Japan or Nippon game? Well, it's a warring time. It's a bad time. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's no shogun. The shogunate is in complete disarray. Doesn't exist. There's no Buddhist monks. There's no ninjas. So the Ainu are the bad guys. They are a Bronze Age, uh, I don't want to say caveman, but they're kind of similar in that aspect to like caveman, sort of throwback to society. And they don't want to progress, and they want to keep Nippon the same. And so the Nipponese are dealing with them. So they're like the quintessential bad guys. You know, it's like humans and orcs. The Ainu are like orcs, but they're human. They're same size as you know, samurai men and women, courtesans and everything, and they have their some Japanese people marry Ainu, you know, women, and you know, of course, they're frowned on by society and stuff like that for the stigmata that comes with, you know, marrying a barbarian, for lack of a better word. What else? 285 pages of full color. This is it's just neat, guys. I mean, if you haven't seen this book yet, you haven't picked up, I believe the retail is, he doesn't have the retail price on here, but I backed it on Kickstarter, and I'm thoroughly glad that I did, because it is amazing. One of the things I wanted to highlight is, one of the things that Britannia Games does really well is the layout, and I think that's A.D. Crowley's group that does all the layout for their books, because they do a phenomenal job. There's some maps in the back of feudal Japan, or Nippon, and I'm not going to do it justice here on my little 1080p camera, but if you can see that, that is amazing. It's a nice watercolor map. The colors are vibrant and nice. The other cool thing that Britannia Games does really well is their use of tables. A lot of games have tables, you know, formatted text around tables. Britannia Games just has the formula down pat for creating tables. I mean, here's a nice piece of like watercolor, traditional watercolor art with the tables laying around. And again, it's not going to do it justice, but hopefully you can see that. You can pause the video and take a better look. The other cool thing is, not only, this is a complete source book. The only other book you will need is the core 5th edition Chivalry and Sorcery rulebook, which is behind me there. You can see it right there. The camera's inverted, so you guys can read stuff, but it's reversed for me, so it throws me off. It does include a fully fleshed out adventure, and it is pretty cool. I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's going to play it. But the Words of Ganguji, and it's a nice full color page of art. Sorry for the glare, but it's phenomenal. It's an adapted adventure by Mike Bruton, and it's just amazing. Another piece of art with some of the heraldry that was done. So if you like that watercolor art, then you know, this is a game for you. I'm just looking at all my art pieces. Yeah, that's the table. There's the Mon, and I think we got the, yeah, so we got everything I wanted to show. I didn't want to go too long on this video, but I wanted to just express that this is a complete game. All you need is that core book and this, and you can play Land of the Rising Sun. You get the PDFs. It's on Drive-Thru-RPG. You can get it off of Britannia Games. The number is 5300. And we'll just give you a little blurb off the back. Land of the Rising Sun is an expansion for Chivalry and Sorcery 5th edition and requires the C&S 5th edition core rulebook. You will be able to create your very own version of feudal Japan, whether you include various elements of folklore and myth, or you go for a pure historical campaign. For the right to be shogun is completely up to you. It's really neat that they do that. Land of the Rising Sun covers the late classical period of Japan through the middle of the feudal period, circa 850 to 1500 CE. Character generation follows a similar path as in 5th edition Chivalry and Sorcery, giving you and your players the tools to create characters from samurai to ninja. The magic rules draw on the Japanese elements of air, earth, fire, metal, water, and wood, while the religion rules allow people to play Buddhist or Shinto priests, adding other branches of religion to those found in Chivalry and Sorcery. 30 new vocations to follow, 14 new species for characters, follow Buddhism or Shintoism, over 90 new skills, and over 100 new spells, and over 30 new acts of faith. So, ninjas aren't a bad guy in the game, but if you choose to add them and add martial arts into your game, you can do that. So the core combat rules of chivalry and sorcery will work in here, so you don't have to learn a whole new mechanic unless you want to. And then there's stuff. I don't know if there's going to be supplements to this or not. Now that the Kickstarter is officially over, I want to see if I can get Mr. Turner on the channel to talk about the Kickstarter and how hard it was. His Kickstarters always go super smooth, and you know, he also put a list in here, so Mr. Mean's name is in the back as a supporter at the samurai level. So I was very proud to do that. It's a beautiful book, and I'm very happy to have helped support it. And like I said, Stephen is very active on the on my Discord channel. So huge shout out to him, sir. Congratulations on your UK award, and congratulations on a successful fulfillment of Kickstarter. You rocked it. It's a beautiful book, and I wish you all the success and best in the world, sir. You are a gentleman among men. Thank you so much for producing such cool stuff. Guys, if you don't have this, go out and buy it. It's, if nothing else, if you're a history buff, if you like feudal Japan, this is a good read. It's amazing. It's very well written, as all of these C&S books are. It is extremely detailed, but it reads very well. It's not like you're reading a textbook, at least not to me. And I've always been in love with feudal Japan. I'm a huge Legends of the Five Ring GM and a player. So this was, I had to back this. Right now he has a Kickstarter going. I think it's almost funded. It's in the first couple of days for a folklore fantasy bestiary to help support chivalry and sorcery. So I'll try and see if I can get a link and throw that down in the doobly-doo. Other than that, guys, that's about all I can say. Channel's going well. Thank you everybody for liking and subscribing. I'm on Patreon. If you want to help support the channel, it's $5 a month. Get you a special designator on the Discord and get you into the drawings. Tomorrow after work, I'll be doing a drawing for this month's Patreons to see who will win a couple RPG books that I have that I'll be sending out. I'll do a follow-up video on that as the time permits. And other than that, guys, like I said, I got some other things I have to take care of tonight, so kind of short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a buy in my book. You could do a lot worse with your gaming dollar. This is a beautiful book. Oh, I forgot to mention, it does have a ribbon inside of it. You can see the red right there. So there is a full ribbon inside. All of his books have a ribbon. At least all the hardback books have a ribbon in them. So it's beautiful. If you can back the Beastiary Kickstarter, please go do it. I've seen some previews. Stephen was nice enough to send a couple chapters to me, and it's gonna be amazing. And who doesn't need more monsters, right? So anyway, guys, as always, peace and hair grease. Like and subscribe. Be nice. Let's love one another and make the world a better place. Let's leave it better than what we came into it, okay? Be good, everybody.